for those who don't know Eric is one of a small handful of guys who own a very successful e-commerce business, a 9-figure business, started on the Gold Coast, 2007, 2008. Great success story, 170 staff. But over that time, you've invested in other businesses and scaled them and so on. But we specifically asked you today to unpack one of your property deals, one of your smaller ones, but still a juicy one, just to demonstrate that when you've got dividends coming out of businesses, how to multiply the dividends so that you can get rich fast. And so we're going to unpack one deal in Burleigh. So do you want to just give us a high level of what you did there?
Yeah, definitely. So again, I want everyone to understand that how important it is to have a network and a network of people around you that you trust. So I actually got a phone call about this deal. I wasn't looking for the deal. I wasn't doing due diligence on the deal. I actually got a phone call by a business partner in this deal. And he just rang me and said, listen, I got a property. This is what we're looking at doing. This is the opportunity. Are you keen to come in? So these are the kinds of calls that I get now from my network, which is powerful, right? So it doesn't mean I have to go out there all the time and create my own deals. So I want everyone to remember that. Now, this deal happened back in October of 2020. So fresh, kind of in the midst of COVID. No one knew what was happening, and the deal looked good. It was a house and land deal in Burleigh Heads. There was an original house on a block of land on the hill, and I'm sure that Greg can pull that up. I sent you some photos.
Maybe just pull up the photo at this point of the land so people can see it. Just the subdivision. We'll hold the photos of the actual end product because it'll be a bit of a reveal.
So there was an old house on it, and actually another builder bought it at the time, and he's the one that subdivided it. So he then wanted to get out of the deal for whatever reason, and my mate, who's a builder, rang me and said, listen, this is the scenario. They've subdivided the land already. It's subdivided into two for 4 houses. So 2 houses on each block. So at this point, 2 blocks of land with 2 houses on each, like duplexes.
Approved.
Already approved.
And there's no houses
approved,
on there.
So architecture's done. No houses are on it, but full approvals in place. Architecture's done. Pretty easy walk-in deal. Now, I did a little bit of due diligence, called a couple agents that I knew in the area. What are things selling for? Build costs were a lot different back then because it was pre-COVID. And we went ahead with the deal. So my friend that brought me into the deal kept one side and built 2. And I bought the other side and built the other 2. So we did a deal. He built all 4 at the same time, which made it a lot more feasible cost-wise and time-wise. So the land purchase was $998,000 for fully approved duplex, plus stamp duty, about $37,000, DA contributions, which is a contribution to council for your DA as an example. And with that, we got a 50% discount because we were building 2. So that was another $30,000. Then you got some architect fees because we made some changes, subdivision costs and whatnot. So total build cost was $1.499 million. So call it $1.5 million. And then you had the land and stamp duty, DA contributions and the rest of it. So total cost was $2.6 million approximately. And this is excluding any GST out of the deal.
Maybe Greg, you can bring up now so we can see the property, some photos of what he built there.
Yeah.
Very cool, contemporary, sloping down a hill, right? So
yeah. Beautiful views.
One on top of the other.
One on top of the other.
Looking straight out over Burleigh Heads.
Yep.
And then next door in the next block was the same, right? One on the high side of the road, one on the low side of the road.
Yeah, one on the low side. And the interesting thing with this was it was dual street frontage. So what we ended up doing is instead of having 2 houses on one lot, we actually went back to council and added even more value to the property by getting it fully subdivided. So we now have 4 blocks of land, individual houses on 4 blocks of land, and all individual addresses. So it wasn't, 1A and 1B address. It was literally, you've got, number
Title.
74 and you've got number 75. And on the other one, as an example, was a total different street. So total different street name, and the access came from that street, which added a massive amount of value.
It's a huge value add for what, a 3-month process at council?
Correct, yeah. And council on the Gold Coast and Queensland, which you'll find out, they're here. You know, they want to do business.
That's awesome.
You know, that's why the likes of, you know, Harry Triggerboff, who owns Meriton, love investing heavily on the Gold Coast and in Queensland particularly, because New South Wales, just everything takes that much longer. So with that, we purchased it October 2020 and fully completed in December 2021.
At a cost of 2.6?
About 14 months. Yeah, at a full cost of 2.6. I injected a little over $1 million in cash. There was reasons for that at the time. You can easily do this with less cash if you wanted to, and I've worked that out for you as well. So most recent bank val, which was mid 2022, came in at 4.8 million. So, you know, total profit of about 2.17, give or take, with a cash on cash return on the $1 million of about 210% in about 14 months. So it worked out really well.
Did you retain them? You own them, right?
And I've retained them. I'm in a big kind of hold pattern at the moment. I'm a big believer that prices will keep creeping up, and I own both. Yeah, and one we're getting $16.95 a week rent, and the other one $16.50 a week rent. Wow. So they're
you did that
high
with $1
quality.
million of debt.
Yeah, $1 million of debt, but I've worked it out backwards, right? So if total costs were at 2.61 and you wanted to get an 80% lend, right, which you can get on this very easily if you had the serviceability, right? And when I say serviceability, guys, for those of you guys that don't know, basically it's the amount of income that you have that can service the loan, right? And that's changed dramatically over time, because when I did this project, interest rates were at around 3%, you know, with an offset account, which I had cash in. So my actual interest amount on this project was quite low. But even if you added, you know, an extra 50, 60 grand a year over the 4 months in interest, it's negligible in the big scheme of things in this. So I worked out at an 80% LVR, you'd have to put in about 525 grand, which is 20% of the 2.6 million cost, as an example. And that would be about a 414% cash on cash return.
In a little over a year.
About 14 months. Now this one's a little bit different because we rode that kind of COVID bandwagon, right? So the numbers could be a little bit skewed. Like could you do this today and, you know, in 14 months? I'm sure there's deals out there that you can. Like James, you know, you got to take the time and you got to look for these deals. It's not, you know, you should be looking at multiple deals. You don't just go and buy the first one. But even if it wasn't, and it was 50% worse off, I
totally, yeah.
And that's what I'm doing still, right? So the deals that I'm doing now, right, the cash on cash returns aren't as good as this, but at the end of the day, if my cash on cash return was 210 and I get now 80 or 90, it's still amazing, you know.
It's still much better than the bank.
These deals are always out there. Sometimes there's more of them, sometimes there's less of them, but you make the money when you buy.
Yeah.
Right. So those deals are always out there. Yes, you had COVID at your back and whatnot, but there's always something.
So this was interesting because we didn't buy a raw block. Then you had to go and do a DA and architects. So that's 6 months, right? That's why it took us 14 months, right? Really, this probably would have taken about 20 months, I would say, roughly. Because you'd have to do the DA, you'd have to engage consultants, architects, engineers. We bought that already fully approved. So we started building straight away.
I think that's a key point as well. If you have all those street frontages, you can subdivide the block and then you don't have to go through a town planning application to get the unit sites.
Correct.
Whereas a lot of people go through that 12 to 18 month period and then sometimes they get rejections or objections. And it gets prolonged. But subdividing the blocks is actually a really smart strategy.
And then there's so much you can do after, right? Like you can sell them, take the cash, you know, hold it for a year, 50% CGT, capital gains exemption. You can keep them as I'm keeping them. You can then go and refinance out of it at the new bank val, suck money back out, reinvest that in different things. and go from there. So there's multiple strategies you could then go, and use from there.
Mate, you're a wog. You never sell property.
You know
Wogs
what?
never sell.
I sold since I've been in Australia, I've sold 3 properties, and I try to put that in my past because I don't like thinking about what they're worth today, because honestly, it irritates the shit out of me. So now I'm just like, keep, because I'm all about time in the market, not timing the market, and I know a few old school Greeks that have owned, they don't sell anything, they keep everything.
Totally.
And I'm telling you, the amount of wealth that they achieve over time is unbelievable. We'll be sitting here, right, in 10 years time looking at this deal and going, yeah, it was okay. Oh, wow, because prices are just going to keep going over time. There'll be peaks and troughs is my belief, but they will always go up, just like sliced bread and fuel. And
Especially
James's
places
linen
like,
shirts.
And especially like Burleigh Heads. I mean, you nailed the area. Looking straight out over James Street and the beach. Look at you guys. But no, there you go. Lots of wisdom, Eric. Thank you for sharing the deal. And we will share more of the deals that we have been doing in our lives and are doing in our lives. Eric's doing some awesome stuff at the moment in the commercial space, in a hotel space. Some really fascinating things that I can't wait to dive into in future pods with you. But again, guys, if you want more of this content, drop a comment, like and subscribe, guys, because this content, in order for us to get on some amazing guests, they want to come onto shows where there are followers, because that's why they come on, is to make sure that their message is being amplified. So the more people that subscribe, the more people that comment, the more traction we get on the channel. So help us share the news that there is a pod in Australia that's professionally, well, semi-professionally produced by a bunch of lads that are talking about real shit, to Eric and these guys. A Rolls Royce to Eric is a dirty building in Burleigh. That's his Rolls Royces, right? Same with me, right? Like we're trying to make a show here that is not just talking convoluted bullshit, that's actually talking real shit that we are doing in business and investing to manufacture wealth in order for the average person over time to escape the rat race and live a liberated life where they are unemployable, because everything they look at is just not comparable to what they know how to do through their own experience. Eric.
And out of these 3 stories, there's no reason why people that are watching this can't do it, right? We're not bringing you stories where you need $10 million. Mark's story, 80 grand. James's story, 250 grand, which he
did with 2 guys.
250, which he actually didn't pay for. I think he mentioned about 125 grand or so in actual physical cash. And my story is again a little bit more, but for 525,000 you could get into this deal. Now, someone like Sam raised $2 million in a day.
Sam's a young man in our orbit who's 21.
Yeah, 21.
21, went out and found a deal only 5 minutes from where we're sitting, and contacted a few people in our community and raised $2 million in cash in a few days for that deal. Yeah.
So don't forget, you don't have to do these things alone. If you have 20 grand, find 4 other people with 20 grand and do a deal like Mark. If you have 50 grand, find 3 people and do a deal like James if you want to put in the time and the effort in the business.
How do you find those people? You share this pod with all your friends and see who comes back and says, dude, I'm super interested. I want to be where those guys are.
It's about the deal maker. I mean, they'll hold the ultimate power. I mean, it's the person who's going to go bolt the deal together is the conduit between it all, and there'll always be cash.
There's no shortage of money. Like, look at Eric here. He's genuinely pissed off that he didn't get a sniff over here. And I say this to Eric, and I say this to other guys. Like,
I thought we were friends,
dirty
thought we were
bastards.
friends.
No, but that's why we're doing the boat coming up for our coaching clients. We're putting them on the boat together because they're going to build relationships. We're going to talk about deals that you've done and they're coming up. One of the guys who joined our coaching is in that project with you in Thailand where you built the 15-story high-rise, and I've seen the numbers. I'm like, you fuckers better invite me on the next one, right? Because that's how it gets done, is by building relationships. So next year we will be opening the coaching again. So if you want to come and join this community of people, if you are sitting there on your own, you don't have a network, come and join us. We do stuff with our coaching clients. And in February, we're taking them out on a big 80-foot yacht here to build relationships and talk business. And it's just an extension of the pod. Yeah.
It's funny you say that because Troy, that particular person, is in the U.S. right now for 3.5 weeks, just running amok with his missus and having a great time. And we've just sold one of his other properties that he bought off the plan that he's just settling on the 22nd, which is tomorrow. And he just made 450 grand on that while he's in the U.S., going to UFC events, basketball events, NHL events, and he's making money at the same time. It's unbelievable, and that's what we want.
Yeah.
All of us to be doing, including you guys, the ones that are watching this, going, how do I do this? This is so inspiring. Just keep watching, keep connecting, and you will be building your own network very, very shortly.
It never happens alone. It always happens with the help of great people around you. And I think this is such a great show and platform for people to kind of start that conversation. Totally. Like Adam said, share the video, let them see who comes back to you with some interest and some passion, because there's nothing like partnering up with people with passion.
But also the questions too.
Just quickly, remember, while we're talking about partnering up with people with interest and passion, James again is single, ladies. He's looking out to partner with people with passion all the time.
Yeah. Don't put that in the comments. Just DM me straight up. And a little bio if it wouldn't hurt. I want a 10-question survey.
What's your Instagram? How do we smash your DMs?
What's the address for fan mail? We start saying underwear and things.
It's James Denham.
It's James Denham on Instagram, ladies. Go your best.
Yeah. Ladies.
Yeah. And out of respect, he actually did do his top button up today.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. It was quite distracting last couple of podcasts.
You were going to say something though, James. Sorry, I cut you off.
Oh, just saying, but getting back to the reality about the comments. Put in the comments, what do you want to know? Get some feedback. Are we hitting the mark or not? And if we are, it'll certainly make good fodder or good topics for the following pods.
Yeah. Fantastic, guys. Thank you for watching. As always, we deeply appreciate your attention and your being here. Tell your friends, like and subscribe, drop a comment. Have a beautiful day. Gentlemen, thank you for coming in. I use the term loosely, but thank you for being here. Appreciate it. And we're going to take a lot of this discussion offline now, and because I know we want to dig into stuff. Yeah, well, this come out just after Christmas, but Merry Christmas. Hope it was safe, and let's watch.
I'm going to be harassing James for the next 2 weeks on this deal.
All right, guys, that's it. Bye for now.
So.
Hey there, I hope you enjoyed that episode of Unemployable. Here's a fun but sad fact for us. Most people who love our content are still not subscribed to the channel. Now, I totally get it. Normally, when you subscribe to something, it involves giving up your email address, and then you get bombarded with emails, people trying to sell you stuff and all of that. But in the world of YouTube, that doesn't happen. We don't get your email address and we don't bombard you. All it means is when you log into YouTube, you'll see our channel there and you can easily click on it and check out our latest content. Now, here's the deal that I will make with you. If you can find it in your heart to click on the little subscribe button below, I promise you that we will get better and better guests on this show so that we can interview them for you to give you better and deeper insights from people that have really done some crazy good stuff. And I promise you that we'll be working harder than ever to make this show even better for you. So that's the deal. If you click on that little subscribe button, hit the notifications bell as well, we would be deeply grateful, and we'll make a better show for you going forward. If you'd like to watch another episode, just click there.